one very important question when it comes to conspiracy theories, religious people who think they know the answer. The mark of the beast, something that I've heard before throughout my life. Something having to do with prophecies and what the Bible says this and that. To clear up exactly what it really means, it doesn't really mean what you think. Hello everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. And I want to make this very, very clear. Something that would actually educate a lot of you. But of course, not everybody's going to accept this. But it does make the most sense, in my opinion. And it's mostly profound, even though I don't want to sound too conclusive on it. But the mark of the beast is actually a misconception. A serious misconception. It has nothing to do, well, the actual belief is someone who's marked by the devil, by Satan, and he's going to be the Antichrist and this and that. Something like that is just basically straight up bullshit. All it really is Christian propaganda to get people all worked up, believing that this ultimate Antichrist that has to do with Satan, and he's gonna bear the mark of 666 and all this other stupid shit like that. And you have to realize how stupid that is. And I got from a source, which I right away did some research on it. The real origin of the so-called mark of the beast has nothing to do with Satan or the devil or this Antichrist with the 666 on his forehead or somewhere on his head or something like that. You've been watching too many movies and getting too much into the book of Revelations and a bunch of other crazy stuff that has no merit and things like that. What the mark of the beast really means is when in early times, way before humans even existed, about 50,000 years ago, when this alien race known as the Anunnaki, according to the ancient Sumerian texts, according to sources having to do with that, for those of you who believe in the idea that aliens created the human race and they pretty much bred them to be slaves, to do work, mining gold and stuff like that, because that's what they were in search for. They're in search for gold. Now, this alien race is known as the Anunnaki, which means those from the heavens came. They came from the heavens, which is like another way of saying they came from the sky. They came from another world. From a planet called Nibiru, which is a planetary spacecraft. They actually came to Earth and they genetically modified the hominid beings, which is like that ape type creatures, the Homo erectus or those primates, those humanoid type apes. And when they did these scientific type of laboratories tests with them, they put a mark on them to select which ones are going to be used for this type of experiment and which one is going to be used for that type of experiment, and selecting them and putting them in different categories. So they would mark them, and they look at these creatures as beasts because they're early primates. They weren't exactly man. They weren't exactly ape. They were like in between. So they marked them. They tagged them and this and that. That's where the true origin of Mark of the Beast comes from. That's what it really means. That's the true origin. And then when they modified their DNA with the DNA of the Anunnaki, they created what is known as the Neanderthal, which we know today as the cavemen. And then when they made some degree of success for that, it still wasn't good enough, as they were trying to do work. So they wanted to improve it just a little bit more. So again, they marked them. They did the same thing, tagged which one's going to be for what. Again, mark of the beast. They see them as beasts, so they marked them. And then when they did the whole genetic process again, they created what is known today as the Cro-Magnon, or the modern human, the modern man. So that's the real origin and the meaning of Mark of the Beast. Basically tagging human beings, early human beings, to do work for them as slaves. And of course, they were treated like shit. And that's what because whoever heard of slaves being treated fairly by their owners? You don't hear that. So that's what they did. They worked them, and they worked them hard to mine gold. And they went through a lot of suffering because of that, until one particular Anunnaki high-ranking type of member known as Inky felt sorry for the humans, and he decided to help them rebel, in which they did. Well, for those of you who don't know that story, that's just what it is. Now, if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. And I'm just letting you know that's what the real origin of Mark of the Beast means. It means that, and it doesn't mean what you think it means about the Bible and Satan marking somebody or any of that kind of stupidity. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you hate this video because of what I just said, if it really offends you, then give it a thumbs down. Say whatever you want. At least I have some proof to back up what I'm saying, compared to any typical Christian fundamentalist. Because mine has more merit, and I know it sounds a little bit more arrogant, but I'm trying not to be. But anyways, any comments or questions, you know what to do. And again, to all of you, Take care.